Hello, I am David Parry, a counselling psychologist, and thank you for joining me. In this talk, I want to explore how to develop self-awareness. To address this question, I propose that whenever we find ourselves having thought, feelings, memories, dreams, experiences, and we don't know why we are having them, we are discovering the edge of our current self-awareness. Similarly, if we find ourselves doing things or reacting in a specific way or feeling compelled to do things and we don't know why, once again, we are discovering the edge of our current self-awareness. Understood in this way, these experiences are an opportunity, and perhaps you could call it a calling from our deeper self to our everyday sense of self, our surface self, to advance our self-knowledge and self-awareness. Why do I think this is important? I will address this question in another way. Why does our brain and body bring anything to our awareness? The most obvious answer is because it may be or is vital or a threat to our survival. Fight or flight is an example of this. And if we don't understand the feelings and thoughts that accompany fight or flight, we can feel confused or even overwhelmed by them. Following on from this reasoning, I propose increasing our self-awareness is beneficial to our well-being and survival. Becoming more self-aware provides us with more opportunity to better understand ourselves. This can in turn help us to better understand other people, be less judgmental, and better able to form relationships with others and ourselves. Personally, I find trying to understand myself and other people is incompatible with being judgmental. It reduces our tendency to think in terms of clear-cut opposite, as for example, right and wrong, good, bad, through consideration of complexity. Therefore, the more self-aware we are, the more we can choose how to be, and the less driven we feel, and the less prone to reacting without reflection we are. The next question is how to go about developing our self-awareness. Is there a method? I think there is. Firstly, try writing a description about whatever it is that you have become aware of that you don't understand, or something that keeps returning to your awareness. It involves writing about anything you suddenly realize you don't know why it's emerging in your awareness. Once you've written it down, and if you don't like writing, you can describe your experience by, for example, talking about it while recording it on your phone, or you could try drawing a picture of it. Then at the end of writing or talking about whatever it is, you could add, you don't know why this is happening, and you would like to better understand it. In essence, you're asking yourself a question and developing self-reflection. Why is this important? By working in this way, with whatever emerges in your awareness that you don't know why it is there, we are trying to create conditions that are favorable to the somatic psychological process of incubation. In psychology, incubation refers to setting aside our conscious effort to understand something that is currently on our mind and perhaps bothering us in some way. In this way, we are trying to let our deeper consciousness work on the problem. This can lead to sudden insights or creative solutions to questions and problems. This phenomenon is a key stage in Graham Wallace's influential 1926, he wrote this, four-stage model of the creative process. In his model, he describes the following stages. 1, preparation. Gather information and consciously working on the problem. You're working on a problem and you feel a bit stuck. It's not going anywhere. 2, try going to stage 2, incubation. Stepping away from the problem, allowing the subconscious mind to continue processing the information in the background. This period often involves engaging unrelated, low cognitive load activities such as walking and sleeping, basically doing something different. The third stage, illumination. The aha or eureka moment where a solution or novel idea suddenly enters our conscious awareness. 4, verification. This stage involves evaluating and developing the insight to see if it is useful and a valid solution and to a better understanding of whether it is. Key aspects of incubation in psychology. Unconscious process. The core of this theory is that the mind continues to work on a problem without direct, focused conscious attention. This allows for new connections and associations to form that might otherwise be blocked or missed by focused, rigid thinking. Getting fixated on the idea that you know what the problem is, you know how to solve it, it's how you've always done it, so why isn't it working now? But you're going to stick to it anyway. I suppose it is comparable to the tip of the tongue experience, whereby you know or think you know the information you need, but for whatever reason you can't bring it to mind. Here the advice is to let it go, because usually the information you're seeking will emerge in your awareness later. While the two examples are not the same, they both involve leaving aside conscious efforts to solve a problem. Is our self-awareness ever complete? I don't say it can be, because we can always discover fresh ways to understand ourselves, by extension other people, other forms of being, the world and the cosmos. Moreover, our brains are always updating with new information. Do I look at this conclusion as kind of burdensome, in the sense that our understanding of anything is always provisional to an extent? Personally, I find it exciting, prospect. Evidence. How do I know that my understanding of anything is provisional and open to be understood differently in the future? It's because over the years I've become aware of new ways to understand myself and my experiences, and it continues to happen. Therefore, I cannot say that I definitively understand anything or have a fixed understanding of anything. It is always possible that a different understanding will emerge. In closing, here are some other ways to develop self-awareness. Individual therapy, group therapy, very useful if you can find a good group. Practicing meditation, practicing mindfulness. And there are more structured ways of developing self-awareness through guided discovery. For example, try writing a diary and keeping a journal. This is a very useful way of keeping a record of our lives and useful for personal reflection. Try creating a gallery of photographs that have particular meaning and feelings for you. Placing them so you see them daily. And you can always update it as and when you feel like it. In closing, if your current awareness is giving you distress, please consider contacting a therapist or your GP. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found it helpful. Please leave any feedback you would like to share. In closing, I want to leave you this thought. If you don't take care of yourself, who will? Bye for now.